This is ASS Breaking News.
Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar!
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I am Brock Jurgensen.
I am Asman bin Licken.
And tonight's top stories brought to you by the Assman. Assman?
A mass shooting occurred Monday afternoon, leaving 6 dead, which included 3 children and 3 adults. The Christian school is thought to have been targeted in a suspected terrorist attack. The attacker, who identifies as male but was born a biological female, really wanted to play the part of a typical straight white male during a mass shooting.
You know, there's something to be said, nothing more manly or white, really, than shooting up a school. President Biden was slammed for joking about ice cream in his first statement since the mass shooting in Nashville.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream.
Biden later called the shooting sick and heartbreaking. We here at ASS News condemn President Biden to the fullest extent, but not for making jokes in the wake of mass shooting, but for continuing to suggest that his wife is a doctor.
That's a lie. We all know it.
During Women's History Month, no less.
Right. Well, I really enjoyed his joke the day after the Holocaust when he walked in saying that they said that there were everything bagels out in the store for breakfast. That was the day after the Holocaust.
The literal day. Wow.
Nashville police released footage of the altercation with the Covenant school shooter, trans male Audrey Aiden Hale, on Tuesday. The brave officers charged into the situation and neutralized the shooter on site. The Nashville police also offered this video to the Uvalde Police Department, showing them how not to be a little bitch.
Man, I spot at least 4 little bitches in this particular image.
Right. My favorite one was the one who went and got hand sanitizer as the shootings were going on.
Man, these people are wild.
I swear to God.
Moving on, following the Nashville school shooting, the magazine Newsweek tweeted, drag shows and gender-affirming care for minors were banned in Tennessee this month, while assault weapons remain legal. Newsweek is actually right here. Republican lawmakers in Tennessee were actually not transphobic enough. What they should have done was ban trans people from obtaining assault rifles as well.
Well, they do want to restrict gun ownership to mental illness. And you know what? This kind of works.
I mean, they're already making threats. Look at this shirt, trans rights or else. Wow. Well, when you put it that way.
We saw the or else right now with 3 children dead. In response to seeing how the Nashville shooter was made into the victim by the American news media, the Taliban has started its own trans division, which is run by General Fatima. Unfortunately, Fatima killed herself. Just another trans statistic in this trans world.
Terrible. Trans life, really.
Trans lives matter. Cut the rope.
The World Athletics Council, the governing body for international track and field, announced they will ban transgender women athletes from elite competitions for women. The ruling could prevent several people who've won Olympic medals in the past from competing in the future. In response, Caitlyn Jenner, who won Olympic gold in the decathlon as a man, announced she had one more in her and announced her decision to compete in the biathlon in the upcoming Winter Olympics.
But we know this is a lie because she chopped both of them off. She doesn't have one more in her.
Well, that may be true.
Yeah, we got to fact check this one. According to NPR, the international governing body for track and field announced that they will ban trans women athletes from elite women's competitions, citing priority and fairness over inclusion, despite limited scientific research involving elite trans athletes. Yes, the scientific research found that for the trans women athletes competing, they may retain higher muscle mass, strength, and running speed than biological women. But they were weighted down by the two shot out balls and central baton between their legs. And you know what? I would think that these scientists, or the NPR, who are stating that there's limited scientific fact around this, was based on the story that they were showcasing Siraj Hashmi in women's sports and how he was failing compared to women.
I feel like Siraj Hashmi would have no problem competing in women's sports, considering how he's not weighed down by really any shot put balls or the baton. If anything,
no, and the fact that his wife repeatedly can overpower and beat him senseless,
right,
really showcases that there's no threat to a Siraj Hashmi in women's spaces.
Yeah, right. It's Siraj Hashmi competing in women's athletics actually gives women an unfair advantage.
Yeah, exactly. It's unfair to Siraj. He needs to go into the under 13s.
Maybe lower, under 10s.
All right, and then into a wood chipper. Let's go.
The Florida chapter of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, otherwise known as the NAACP, issued a travel advisory telling Black Americans to not travel to the state amid concerns over quote-unquote anti-Black legislation. Upon hearing the news, former Tennessee police officer Megan Hall announced that she will accept all Black travelers, particularly those who are traveling by train.
She has a thing. She has a thing for trains.
You know, it would make sense that she's probably one of the biggest lobbyists now. One of the biggest train lobbyists, I should say. Try to
all Black trains,
high speed rail.
It's about time we got all Black trains going on for
about time.
The minorities. It's about time.
Anyways, Habibis, welcome to another episode of the BB Power Hour.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I choose ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's going on, Habibis? I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Jay Kobbe.
And we're the Habibi Bros. Welcome to another episode of the BB Power Hour. Jay, how you doing?
I am doing wonderful. How are you doing today?
I was struggling today, Habibi. I was fasted for Ramadan. Ramadan Mubarak and Ramadan Kareem to all who are observing.
Oh yeah, here we go. Another Ramadan excuse.
I mean, my boss's cat got cancer, Jay. First things first, Habibis, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button, and $5 a month, join our locals community. We actually have a promo going to the end of this month. That's right, the end of March, Women's History Month. We're making history. Well, women almost did in Nashville on Monday, and then they were robbed of it by
a trans person. God damn it!
Person pretending to be a man.
The trans community trampling on all women's spaces. They can't even be credited for mass shootings.
It's honestly, women cannot catch a break. Everything that they've been trying to accomplish, stolen by a man.
Yes.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. Anyways, HabibiBros.locals.com, $5 a month. You get to join the non-pores chat as well as our Habibi Bros Discord server, which, Jay, we are having a NCAA March Madness bracket pool right now.
I was doing so well. As long as I'm not being beat by Carl, honestly, it's a success. It's a win for me.
What would you say that you are now beating Carl?
That I'm not below Carl.
Oh, you're not below Carl. Just
right.
In real life, you're below Carl.
Well, his mom, yes.
That's how I eat her ass.
For sure.
Anyways, so Habibis, go ahead and check that out. Obviously, we give more higher preference to the locals chat and tell basically all of our followers, specifically the Habibis who pay us, to go kick rocks.
Right.
Exactly. Speaking of rocks, Jay, our latest promo showed that we were talking about eating rocks. What type of rocks did you eat?
When we were kids, I ate like those really hard sand rocks. Wait,
hold up. Are you saying you don't eat rocks anymore?
Right now? No.
I thought we had a deal. I thought we had a pact.
The rock eaters. That was for eating the rock's ass.
Rock, paper, ass. Go. Gotta come up with a better name for that.
Yeah, you're going to. It's all right. I mean, you're still foggy. Well, this is all Ramadan. This is all because you're fasting during Ramadan.
The quickness. The quickness just isn't there.
No, it's not. It's Allah's
fault. But it's
fault.
coming though.
It's Allah's fault. That's what it is.
I guess that's true too. By the way, go ahead and hit us with a follow on Twitter. We're on @Habibi_Bros. Jay is at Asslickin. I'm at Siraj Hashmi. And for those of you who are watching on our YouTube channel, why don't you join us on Rumble by hitting the link in the description, because we sure as shit are going to get banned from there as soon as we get into this next topic. So we'll see you over there. All right. Now that that's over, I'm just kidding. I'll keep the shirt on for this segment. All right. So Jay, it's been a doozy, a real doozy of a week, and it's only Tuesday.
And it's only Tuesday. Usually these things happen on Fridays.
Right. Like massive news dumps, like the types of dumps that Jay and I take in the morning and send photos
to each other of. It's good motivation too. I mean, you guys are bros when you tell each other when you're going to take a shit, how hard that shit was, and what the shit was about.
Oh, yeah.
Spencer's looking at us like, what the fuck's going on? He just doesn't have a bro love like that yet. And it's all right. It's okay. You'll get it. You'll get there. You just need to experience through college.
Spencer Sachs, our producer, eventually he'll go through puberty. We're hopeful. Ever hopeful. During this Ramadan, I'm praying for it. Just want him to just grow a little bit of hair on his chest and maybe balls. I just want him to succeed.
Yes, that's what we always want, and that's why
go to prison.
He can go fuck himself and get fired right now.
Exactly.
Just to learn the hardships. So,
absolutely. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Nashville shooting, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a
God, I'm so excited to talk about shootings again.
Yes. Another shooting in a school.
Hold on. I'm pulling up. This is great. So we got new, look at this, Jay. It's insane. We got this whole new layout here, except it doesn't matter because I've got nothing to feed it there. So it's literally just blank space.
Oh, so because you took out, why'd you take out the other?
Because that was an old slideshow, so it doesn't really matter. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna share the screen like a boomer, because that's what I do. I'm a boomer.
Yes.
So ABC News is Terry Moran. Mo, let's just watch it.
All right, that is Police Chief John Drake of Nashville, who is briefing reporters on the deadly grade school shooting in Nashville at the Covenant School there this morning. The police confirming 6 dead, 3 children, 1 8 years old, 2 9 years old, and 3 adults, including Catherine Kuntz, who is the head of the Covenant School. The police chief also said that the shooter has been identified as 28-year-old female Audrey Hale, former student of the school, and confirmed that Audrey Hale was identified herself as a transgender person. State of Tennessee earlier this
I love how they don't know how to say it. I love how they're also
they
tripping over themselves. I don't want to get canceled type thing. Like,
do I say transgender person?
All this type of shit. Yeah. I mean, you can totally tell that they have totally put themselves into a complete fucking dumb box. And they look at his face. He looks retarded.
Well, let's see how retarded it gets.
And the governor signed a bill that banned transgender medical care for minors, as well as a law that prohibited adult entertainment, including male and female impersonators, after a series of drag show controversies in that state.
So,
wait.
So, what is he implying here?
What are you saying there, Terry? Are you saying that those specific laws that were passed that the people voted for in the state of Tennessee caused the shooting? No.
Are you saying that it's now justified that these 3 Christian children were killed in cold blood because of these bills that were passed? Because it sort of sounds like they're trying to justify this terrorist attack that was targeting this school specifically for Christian, their Christian values. That's what it's sounding like right now.
Also, I mean, like, when you first heard about the shooting, and you heard the initial reports in which they said that, oh, this is a woman who carried out the attack, and then they found out that they looked up this Audrey Aiden Hale's LinkedIn and found their pronouns were he, him. And Jay, I credit Jay for this, and I'm so mad I didn't come up with it. The title of this episode is that they're not correct. Their correct pronouns are what, Jay?
Were.
So,
that is now their correct pronouns. But we're seeing this happening like all over the media right now, where they're trying to justify or put in different jabs about Tennessee's policies on not castrating children, and also not having children around adult males dressed in thongs and showing fake tits all around them.
Okay, so one thing about the drag shows, because like that is obviously it's a weird. Here's Newsweek: drag shows and gender affirming care for minors are banned in Tennessee this month, while assault weapons remain legal. Look,
what does one have to do with another? Like, what does assault weapon have to do with castrating children? That makes no sense.
Honestly, insane how they tie the two together. Do you really they really want to make it so that they die on this hill, no pun intended, that it's either your kids have to be subject to watching adult men talk about sex and in full-on drag, as well as being able to diddle their kids. Not saying the drag queens are diddling their kids, although I'm not saying the two are mutually exclusive, but having the ability to access their kids' private parts and try to chop them off. It's either those or they get shot up in their school. There's no in between for them.
That's what it is. It's like they're trying to say, like, if you pretend like the concerns about gender affirming care, castrating children mean nothing compared to allowing assault weapons on in the streets.
It actually is insane.
They're trying to tie it together where it's like, if you're pro Second Amendment, you really don't care about children's lives. So why are you
concerned about gender affirmation care.
Like they are, the logic behind it just turns yourself into a complete pretzel in order to try and make it sound, make the logic sound, in trying to find a connection between the two.
And look at this T-shirt. People are wearing T-shirts that say "trans rights or else," and it just shows a bunch of guns.
Right.
So basically, I don't know who decided to go with this marketing, this strategy, this messaging strategy, but forgive me, Jay, it's fucking retarded. Okay, may Allah forgive me for cursing during the month of Ramadan. I swore I would never curse, but Allah, this is so fucking. Allah, this is so fucking stupid.
It is. And honestly, you should be asking for more forgiveness for having a boner right now looking at this trans person.
Whoa, hold up.
Than actually saying retarded.
How
so that's what you need to be apologizing.
Jay, turn off turn off the under desk webcam that only you can see.
You have to that's what you have to
that's like Zoom. That's like using like 130, 1,000 millimeter zoom lens to try and
find it. That is what you're
catch any movement down there.
And it's really funny how you have people, not people, I'm sorry, fucking little pieces of shit in the media like Jake Tapper. After every mass shooting, after everything, the first thing they do is bring up rhetoric from the right. They bring up rhetoric from these the right organizations, organizations, and then they bring up rhetoric from places like the NRA and all that kind of stuff to demonize the whole group of people as if they're all responsible for that action. Now, all of a sudden, they are completely silent on this rhetoric, even though we have the press secretary for Arizona governor going out and tweeting gifs on gun violence, saying like, if anyone comes for trans rights, the gif is showing like they're going to shoot them.
Spencer, can you find that? Because I haven't seen that before.
They have different organizers, just like what you saw there with the rhetoric, trans rights or else, with all of that. And then you have a representative, Liz something, I forget her name.
Cheney?
She's wearing, no, not Liz Cheney, but she's wearing a shirt that's saying trans rights or else with a knife on it. Let me show you. Hold on.
I have the one that I just had pulled up. Oh, you're getting that specific. While you look for that, here's Benjamin Ryan, who got listed, and he's also been untagging himself from all these list tweets on the Twitter account List Comes for All. But Benjamin Ryan tweets at Ben Ryan Writer, basically tweeted, NBC has ID'd the Nashville school shooter as Audrey Hale, 28, who identifies as transgender and had no previous criminal record. Oh, that really does it. Nashville is home to the Daily Wire, a hub of anti-trans activity by Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, and Michael Knowles. So that tweet got deleted, but look, I don't know if he got hit with the lawyers being like, hey, you keep this up, and it's basically like, get ready to fork over whatever it is that you own, because you're gonna get sued into oblivion for defamation and
There's
libel.
no way they would allow this type of thing to happen. And again, with the rhetoric trying to victimize the shooter. They're trying to victimize the shooter.
Oh yeah. I did see this. All right, click on that. So Governor of Arizona's press secretary posted this the same day. 6 people, 3 of which were kids, were murdered at their religious school. And it is, the press secretary for Governor Katie Hobbs. Us when we see transphobes, and is a GIF of a woman holding 2 guns. So at this point, Jay, I feel like we've seen this movie before, considering how over the last 20 years, people who shared our names, well, not really our names exactly, but names that sounded like ours. Basically your name.
Actually, my name is on the FBI most wanted list. Like if you search the FBI, I think it's like number 15 or something, you'll find a Mujahid on there.
if I go to my FBI most wanted page, it better be number 69 because I will not accept anything
Anything less. Right.
Anything less. But look, Jay, oh, whoa. Protect trans and a knife. Protect trans kids. By the way, as you said, Jay, before, trans kids don't exist.
Nope.
There's no such thing as a trans kid.
Nope. If you want to
It's
talk
just
about
child
abuse. If you want to talk about a social construct, they have constructed trans kids out of thin fucking air in order.
Oh yeah, this is
in order to push this shit.
I remember this. I remember this woman, Peggy Flanagan, the lieutenant governor of Minnesota. She was one of the people who I think we covered in the previous episode about how specifically when children speak, we need to listen. Like,
oh,
no
yeah.
bit.
Yeah, and she's pretending like her 4-year-old kid is like a trans kid or something like that.
Are we
well.
basically assuming? Are we assuming that every single child, you know that running joke on Twitter about like the woke 3-year-old who just say, like Ruth Conda forever, and that's like a cultural reference I can get behind. These motherfuckers are actually like legitimately believing it. Like, oh, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl. Like, oh, so brave, so courageous. Let's chop that dick off.
Right, and
they're continually affirming the delusions of these kids. I mean, our Arab fathers and stuff like that put us back in reality real quick. It's like we'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna be the successful, or I'm gonna be an astronaut." But no, you're not. You're an idiot. You're not going to be an astronaut. No, you're not. Like they pull us down into reality quick. Yeah. If we ever told them, Dad, I want to be a girl, a backhand into the fucking forehead. And like, what the fuck are you saying?
You need to be, if you need humbling, just adopt yourself a Middle Eastern baba, a Middle Eastern father. They'll set you straight.
It is hilarious. I mean,
I feel like Jay, I feel like that's holy shit. That's not only a sketch that we could do, but specifically like a service we could provide. Like, need coaching in your life. Adopt the bubba today.
Yeah, we rent our dads for the day.
Just like cursing out the child, being like, "Why doctor?"
Exactly. What do you mean you're a girl?
They take the belt off. They get ready.
Yeah. They do, and then they go for it. I mean, you should talk to like immigrant parents, especially if you go and you talk to people at the mosque. Do it. I'm serious. Do it. Make it a segment, because I don't know. I don't think you go to, unless your dad's there. You don't go to the mosque before iftar, do you? To play tarawih.
The tarawih? No, I don't even do it when I'm at home.
Oh, you don't even do it with your dad?
I mean, sometimes. I mean, he doesn't always go either, because sometimes he's on call and stuff. But
gotcha. Yeah, because he's a successful surgeon,
unlike you.
That's
but
true.
But I'm just saying, like, one of these times, do it and make it into a segment and talk to them about it and see what you guys get it. What you get.
So.
From
back to the list real quick. Now, Jim Satala on Rumble says, "Are you the guys behind the list? Why haven't I ever seen any of your videos before?" Welcome, Habibi. You're watching in one of our videos now. We do the list stream on Thursday night, so stay tuned for that. We're just kind of giving you a healthy rundown of the list before it goes out. We specifically wanted to highlight this tweet from David Pakman, who is a progressive content creator. And he tweeted, "Very surprising that there would be a mass shooting at a Christian school, given that lack of prayer is often blamed for these horrible events. Is it possible they weren't praying enough or correctly despite being a Christian school?" As you could tell, the tweet was deleted.
Of course.
Pakman specifically cited that he was receiving too many death threats to his family, specifically anti-Semitic threats, and then just didn't post any evidence of it. I feel like, Jay, if that happens to you, wouldn't you like,
I would post some of them. Yeah, I would post a little bit of them. I love it when we get hate comments on Rumble or on YouTube or anywhere, and we put them up on there. Like, it's always it's my favorite thing to read live. But David, whatever the fuck his name is, I've seen some of his videos and shit. He's one of the most intellectually dishonest people
to ever talk about issues with. I don't understand why anybody would want to talk like fairly with him. Because he doesn't play fairly, and he's very dishonest. He
doesn't engage in good faith.
No, he does not. He has no good faith arguments, and he doesn't question good faith either.
Yeah, no, it's insane, and the fact that we are going to these extremes here is really just, honestly, Jay, it's sad because you expect at least a little bit of humanity to come out from all of this, and no, it's everybody just digging back in the trenches, and it's from the people who say it is cruel to say that that there's no trans kids, or it's cruel to say that affirmation care is useless. It's insane, and the fact that we're now at the point where, look, I get that like everyone is ready to like jump to conclusions and find a narrative after these shootings. And I've usually taken the disposition of waiting until more information comes out before speaking on it. It's now been it's been 36 hours since that shooting was first reported, or at least since the shooting happened. And the discourse has been exceptionally retarded. And I'm talking about like I saw a great tweet by one of our Habibis, Gnome Bloom, aka Neon Taster, who's been a friend of the show. He specifically said in relation to the fact that not only was it, I think when they finally announced that the shooter was a trans man, he just tweeted discourse singularity achieved. Like this is it's like nothing. You can't describe it any better because
you can't. It's insane. You can't even do it better than this.
Like, I know that like everybody wants to make things about themselves, and that's what everybody has done. But it is like it's so over the top. You now see people. I shit you not, Jay. This is in addition to that Jocelyn Berry, who's the press secretary of the quote unquote governor of Arizona, Katie Hobbs. If you just look up trans rights on Twitter, let me just show you basically where a lot of their heads are at. So you got the trans rights shirt, or else Trans Day of Vengeance, stop trans genocide, Trans Day of Vengeance on April 1st. What else am I looking for?
That was like a huge, that was supposedly being like a huge gathering of everyone trans right, or else there's a lot of those going out. Even Sink Uger also talked about, trans people needing to buy a lot of guns because you never know if a right-wing guy is going to come kill you.
Yeah, let's watch that. Maybe not. Okay, maybe not. You get the point, Jay.
No, I get it.
I'll be a little bit of a hit.
We'll move on.
Do you want me to play it or not?
Yes, play it. It's playing already. Fine. Just do it.
I'll be a little bit of a hypocrite here, but it's not. I'll explain why I'm saying it. I don't like guns. I would ban assault weapons in a second. We can go on and on about the gun control that we need in this country. And I always tell people, don't.
Sorry, what are you saying, Jay?
I said when he's saying like I'll be a little bit of a hypocrite here. He's always a fucking hypocrite. He's a fat piece of shit, brown buffalo piece of garbage.
Roy Metzger on Local says, love listening to Jay say a name. Oh, hold on. I'll get to that and just like leave that up there, Spencer. Love listening to Jay say a name and me having to figure out who he means. Chank Uyghur.
It's Chank. Oh, whatever. Piece of shit.
Fitzy motherfucking Cent on Rumble said thank you for the Rumble rants. $10 Rumble rant says it's gonna take Islam to save us from the trans rhetoric, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
I mean, you're gonna see a lot of immigrant parents and Muslim parents like banding together to fight a lot of this garbage that's being taught in school. And the thing is like this is not
so-called trans eraser. What these fuckers are doing are erasing genitalia from children. They are completely robbing children from normal hormone progression within their lives to be normal human beings. They're robbing them from this. They are brainwashing them into believing that they need to sterilize themselves and chop off their healthy body parts. This is not trans eraser. This is getting
population control.
This is getting back to normalcy. This is not trans eraser. I mean, if the guy, it goes all the way up to 26, 32, whatever the fuck, has his own money, go do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't give a shit. But they are here advocating to do it to your kids, to take your money to do it with your to your kids, and to do it without your permission. It's not trans eraser. This is protecting children.
Eraser, like it's a pencil. Well, I guess that makes sense. They're erasing all of their pencils in between their legs. No, what I was going to say though, Jay, was that with respect to Fitzy's comments here, that it's going to take Islam to save us from the trans rhetoric, isn't it? If you've seen, specifically in Dearborn, Michigan last year, how even these sexually explicit books are being taught in schools and they're in school libraries. If you saw the parental backlash from these Muslim Arab parents in Dearborn, Michigan, you would understand that there might be some truth to this. No, I'm not saying that obviously we're going to, take over, although, Sharia.
It's coming. Sharia is coming. But no, it's the fact that immigrants and Muslims and stuff like they're a lot more socially conservative than liberals are by miles. Miles they are, and it is just a really it's just a fact of life that the Bush years have really destroyed a lot of chances that the right has with outreach with immigrants and with Muslims in particular, in order to get them to, come over to come over to a different voting pattern than what they're doing right now. And that is 8 years that they have to really overcome and fight over, especially because you have a media that that just puts out this rhetoric over and over and over again. I mean, you talk to a Muslim person, they just think America is bad, but they love Obama, and then you have to like re-educate them on what Obama did to the Middle East as well, and how many bombs he dropped and how many people he killed in the Middle East, and how they destroyed Libya and all that kind of stuff. All of that is really attributed to Bush when you talk to a lot of them out there. And then, of course, Bush being controlled by Israel, but we'll get into that later.
Straight from a WhatsApp group with his dad.
Straight from a WhatsApp group. But they really are. They're very much more socially conservative. They're very much into the nuclear family and the importance of the family and the importance of a mother and father family household. And the importance on discipline, importance in school, importance, like it is a culture you want in your home and in civilization in order for you to be as successful as possible. The reason why Asians and Indians and Pakistanis and all of these other immigrants coming here are successful, even Mexicans are more successful than Black Americans, is because of that culture that they have. But Democrats want to destroy it all, and they have successfully done that to the inner city population of the Black community. They have successfully done that. It has decimated them for decades. And it is sad too. If they change their mind tomorrow, it's going to take them decades to get it.
And it's not. I think a lot of people, and we probably don't talk about this enough. I know that we always say it's all by design, Jay. This is what the design is. They have spent, and by they, I mean the powers that be, Democrats, and I guess center-right Republicans, but mainly Democrats, have spent years upon years of programming and brainwashing basically the entire American public into believing their bullshit and thinking that they have like this is the greatest accomplishment that Democrats ever achieved, is that they convinced half the country that they have their best interests in mind and that they can fix things. Right. It is furthest from the truth. All they do is take these vulnerable groups and use them as political pawns to advance their agenda of obtaining more power, controlling the society. And when they see, hey, people are starting to think for themselves and they're, starting to question what's happening, like COVID lockdowns or the vaccine. Oh, boom, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi, you're a racist, you're every single bad name that we could think of in the book. And if you dare question us, you will be a social outcast. You will lose your job. You will ruin your life. Will ensure that your wife leaves you, like my wife leaves me, and your parent and your kids will, be ashamed to be a part of your family, or be, ashamed to be associated with you. This is what I mean. It's the programming that they specifically convinced all of us to think a certain way. And the fact that they've gotten so many people on that under their thumb is, to this day, it's fucking incredible and it's astonishing. I mean, at this point, like, you got to like tip your hat. Like, it's not like the fact that they're incompetent. Like, they're just straight up evil.
Right. And honestly, that's what it is. It's right there at the corruption, because this has been happening a lot longer before COVID even hit. It's even when you want to bring up statistical facts about single motherhood. If you bring that up, you're a racist.
Right.
If you bring up if you bring up crime stats, if you bring up how the inner cities have been in shambles all this time with nothing to show for it, even after the civil rights movement, you are labeled a bigot. You can't bring these things up. And it's the same thing with the trans issue. You can't bring up the fact that, none of what they're saying is based in science. None of what they're saying is based in biology. None of what they're saying is based in actual factual reality. It's all based on feelings and their truth and my truth and all that kind of bullshit. And if you want to say anything against it, it's trans eraser. They go all the way to the other side where they say it's a genocide, where they say you're out to kill and murder trans people, where they say you're out to erase their whole existence.
I just love it. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. Keep going.
These mentally ill individuals who are already rife with anxiety, rife with confusion. Now you put in their brains that anyone who speaks out against any trans issue, they want to murder you and kill you. What's going to happen? You see them as violent as they are. They are like the trans rights groups are fucking violent when you see them at protest or a counter protest.
There's some of the more violent people. They specifically want you to obey under either under coercion, or by force, which is basically the same thing. But I wanted to bring this up as your case in point, Jay, with respect to the science. Now, this is a story that popped up a few days ago before the Nashville shooting, in which NPR, and we talked about it during the cold open as part of our little shtick here, that the international governing body for track and field will ban trans women athletes from elite women's competition, citing a priority for fairness over inclusion. And get this for the kicker: despite limited scientific research involving elite trans athletes. Okay, this was tweeted at by my time zone. Hold up, give me a second. I had it right here. All right, 6:03 p.m. March 26th. Okay, all right. Yes. Now get ready for this. The correction: an earlier tweet incorrectly stated there is limited scientific evidence of physical advantage. Existing research shows that higher levels of testosterone do impact athletic performance, but there's limited research involving elite trans athletes in competition. Tweeted at 6:04 p.m. March 26th, literally a minute later. How do you post this tweet and then this tweet right after without deleting? NPR, I know you're going through layoffs right now, but you didn't do enough. You need to lay off more people.
Yes, it needs to get to 100%. That's where the
100%.
layoff count needs to happen. And
limited to trans elite athletes. No, it's not. We have men athlete data. It's the same shit. It's a man just now in a wig or wearing makeup. It's the same thing. We got the same data.
Literally, all you have to do is look at what their race times were, their 100-meter dash,
on average for men
prior to their specific transition, and then stack it up against literally every woman athlete that they're going to be competing against.
And it's over. It's over.
You don't even have to do a scientific research study. Literally just compare the fucking numbers.
The craziest thing is that the record of track and field, I think it was like the 100-meter dash or something like that, held by a male high schooler is faster than the world record held by a woman in high school.
Amazing.
It's insane that we have all of this fact and data and everything, and they still want to call you a bigot, and they still want to call you the person who's not living in reality or living with the proper scientific information.
Yeah, no, it's insane. It is absolutely insane. But okay, this from Spencer, our producer, who should be fired. Can you zoom in on that? So this is from the Meme-O-Random, whatever the fuck that is, tweeting out this NBC News article that fear pervades Tennessee's trans community amid focus on Nashville shooters' gender identity. Jay, you literally had this tweet at the ready of Norm Macdonald. What is it? Norm Macdonald and ISIS. Norm Macdonald.
Oh yeah, it's really. See, he says is my biggest fear when ISIS detonates a bomb and kills 50 million Americans is the treatment of the what's it called?
Yeah, what terrifies me is if ISIS were to detonate a nuclear device and kill 50 million Americans. Imagine the backlash against peaceful Muslims.
It's so good. It's so good. I had a tweet that plays on this. I forget what it said. It said something about if what terrifies me is if a trans person murders children, that we misgender theys.
Yeah, no. Look, you cannot parody this. You cannot parody this
because you had tweet after tweet about what news organizations saying, "Oh, we don't know the gender yet. Oh, we're not trying to misgender. Oh, we don't know what it is. Oh, we're still trying to find out." And it's like, for fuck's sake, that is not the most important thing that's happening right now. If we say that the killer, she killed kids, the biggest story is that the kids have been murdered, not the fact that you used she, which correctly identifies who the fuck that monster was anyways.
We
It's
live in a
honestly,
broken
it's really sad because when you see how that is the initial go-to, like you really cannot parody it, and it's, look, I get that not every trans person is gonna go and shoot up a school. I think a lot of rational people can obviously think that, and not generalize an entire group of people based on the actions of a few. We've seen that time and time again. But this is what's so wild, is that the reaction from so many people who are specifically in the pro-trans rights advocacy group are dismissing and diminishing like the horrific acts by this Audrey Aiden Hale, killing children and teachers and administrators at an elementary school, a Christian elementary school, and them specifically saying, "Oh, why are they talking about their identity? It doesn't matter." Well, okay, it doesn't always matter if their identity did not drive them to commit the shooting, but I think there's substantial cause and reason to believe that, maybe their identity did drive them to do this, not because they are just trans normally, but because of how they responded to being who they are. And if you're going to go ahead and shoot up a religious school, a Christian school, because they practice their faith and it doesn't include, I don't know, wanting to chop off children's dicks off or their daughter's tits off and put a dick on there. I mean, like, how much, in the words of Dave Chappelle, how much are we supposed to participate in your self-delusion? It's come to the point where trans people are starting to act like and encourage acts of terrorism.
They are. And they are encouraged by it, by simply people saying that you want trans people dead, or these bills are set for trans genocide.
Right.
So you're justifying any kind of violence that happened, because if you're stating for a fact that this is a genocide that is happening, then it is justified to go defend yourself.
Right.
And at the end, that's why you're seeing all of these people, all of these news organizations, and all these activists, trans activists and the like, bending themselves over backwards to forget about the people who were killed and actually think about the real victims here, which is our trans and the trans community. So we can't, throw a blanket over the trans community because, of a trans person killing them. But the trans community can throw a blanket of victimization over themselves for the actions of one trans person killing the kids and the
response
teachers
from trans people who specifically have been not saying that all trans people are mentally ill, but the specific ones who are mentally ill on Twitter and exhibiting their mental illness for the rest of us to see, has specifically signaled to both of us that this act is the fault of society, and there's no accountability and no agency on the act of the shooter. They can't be held responsible for their decisions because society is just so hostile and bad towards people who are trans that they have no other excuse but to kill people, but to kill children, to shoot up religious schools, to shoot up elementary schools, and basically sweep it under the rug that their identity didn't do this. Nothing about their mental state happened to do this. It's funny, Jay. You know how in terms of I feel like we hardly talked about it during this particular show, but Joe Biden, we talked about in the cold open how his initial response to this particular shooting was talking about fucking ice cream.
Yeah,
talking about ice cream. Not that matters, but that's a story maybe for another time about how senile he is, but and the fact that he actually doesn't have any mental acuity. I mean, he probably is actually like the mental illness in chief. I don't know if that, the Ramadan brain has really gotten to me. I probably am suffering from a little mental illness right now just from fasting. But Jay,
just from fasting?
Just fine in general. Okay, all right, I get it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. No, this is what I was going to say. His first response was to go after guns. Okay. This person, the shooter, Audrey Aiden Hale, 28 years old. I initially thought that the shooter was 16. I don't know. I guess that was the initial report or something like that. But no, 28. They're 28 years old, had access to a firearm, assault rifle.
Firearm legally because they're 28. Legally. They're of age.
And so we had that Cenk Uygur
no
clip.
priors. No priors.
priors.
None
So
of any
like
of that. kind of stuff.
literally every single thing checked out.
Yes.
How could anyone predict that person was going to go and shoot up a school unless they had a mental health evaluation and they found that, maybe this person shouldn't own a firearm.
Well, the thing is, even then, and at that,
but how they classify gender dysphoria
It's
now,
not a mental illness.
exactly. It's not a mental illness. It's a sexuality, and this is the problem.
Yeah,
this
of
is
course.
the problem.
Not one of their like, for example, the stupid dumb fuck Gavin Newsom tweeted at one of the representatives saying, you've received $1.1 million from the NRA. So I'm like, oh wait, Newsom, what common sense gun laws here in California would have stopped this? None. Not one law here in California would have stopped her from getting a gun and doing what she did. None of it would have stopped it. You know what would have stopped it? Proper security at the fucking school. Actually locking access to side doors. Actually having on duty guards during school hours.
All right. So specifically, this particular shooter went after it was Covenant Catholic school or Covenant school, whatever, Covenant Elementary School. He, she, whatever the fuck. We don't give a shit. We'll misgender the shit out of her. Because fuck her. Like, she killed kids. She doesn't deserve.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter.
No,
like, misgendering this stupid fucking whore doesn't matter. It does not matter.
It does not matter. We will misgender the shit out of her. Okay. What we know, and I guess one of the reports said that she specifically targeted the school because of its lax security. Because she was actually going to go out. She was actually going to shoot up a different school, but found that it was actually, they had much higher security standards, and it was going to be harder to basically shoot it up. So she went after a softer target. How the fuck are we still turning schools into gun-free zones? I get not arming teachers. We don't have to arm teachers.
No,
but at least have fucking armed security. I mean, what the fuck? Just follow any single like third world country American school. Literally go to Lahore, Pakistan, the Lahore American school where I went to school, a private American school, armed security, walled in. There was literally the entire time I was there. And look, Pakistan can be kind of like the Wild West from time to time. 0 school shootings, none. It's definitely a high value target to some. I mean, there are a lot of ambassadors' kids who go there. You don't think that they're like terrorists who specifically want to like abduct one of my classmates or schoolmates and basically, make out with a king's ransom? Like, again, we're spending too much money on shit that doesn't matter. We're spending too much money sending money to Ukraine. Climate change that's not going to kill literally anyone. And what else, Jay? What else are we wasting our money on?
Oh, we're wasting our money on
transgender care too. We're wasting effort and money and all of that kind of stuff on transgender care too. And especially when it comes to kids, because no kid is transgender. That is made up nonsense.
And for those of you who are just tuning in, what Jay is saying is that trans kids don't exist because trans kids, for one, it's not an oxymoron, but it's contradictory because all it is child abuse.
It really is. They do not exist. It's just an excuse for them to it's a money grab excuse to get people hooked on this thing from when they're a kid all the way until they're adults or until they kill themselves because they have not gotten the proper treatment that they deserved. And this person, Audrey, who thinks she's a man, targeted the school, like you said, because it had lax security. And every time we bring up, making sure doors are locked, people are like, make sure the doors are locked. Yeah, you stupid fucks.
Why allow other entrances into a gun-free zone where you have the most vulnerable assets? The most vulnerable assets are in this building where nobody else can defend themselves for easy targets.
Yeah. It's
The
honestly
logic
insane.
makes no sense. Instead, they want to start saying common sense gun laws and not provide any kind of like solution or policy outside of banning guns altogether or issuing red flag mental checks. But transgenderism is not a mental issue.
Yeah, and you get Michael Knowles who goes up on the CPAC stage and says that we need to eradicate transgenderism, meaning the ideology, and immediately the corporate media takes that and says that he's calling for the genocide of trans people. You don't think that the corporate media has any culpability in what happened in Nashville? It's actually astonishing. And Jay, I think we pulled up that tweet from what's his name, Benjamin Ryan or whatever the fuck his name is, specifically showing how, and he deleted the tweet, but specifically blaming Daily Wire for that shooting in Nashville because of the transphobic activity of Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, and Michael Knowles. Well, you know what? That's a whole lot of fucking projection because Jay, the people who helped turn this into the situation that it is with a quote unquote mentally ill trans man who's actually a woman shooting up a school and killing children. It's media entities like the Rolling Stone that pour gasoline on the fire and say that people like Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, and Ben Shapiro are calling for the genocide of trans people. You don't think those two things are, have any correlation or positive correlation? They absolutely fucking do. 100%, essentially.
And it's just going into this whole ideology within this cult as well. So let's not get it twisted. This LGBTQ plus whatever the fuck, transgenderism, all of that shit that has absolutely eaten the left alive. The whole left is now eaten alive by this cult. And all of these people are following this cult as well. They use cultish tactics, language, all of that to push their ideology across. And it's very, like, when you really look at it through that lens, it's very fucking eye-opening and terrifying to watch how they do it, because they will twist logic to fit their delusion that's not real. They will tell you to cut anyone in your life that doesn't follow this out of your life. They're not your real family.
It's a cult.
The teacher is your real family. Right. The teacher is your real family. Yeah, your chosen family. That one chick with Debbie Moore, the guy went on there. Drew Barrymore.
Hold on. For those who are unfamiliar, it's Dylan Mulvaney with Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore. He used that same phrase, the family I chose. And this is very cultish language and stuff that we are seeing through here. And in this cult, trans people can never be the oppressors. Trans people can never be the perpetrators. Trans people are always the victim.
Right.
Always the victim. Not the 9 and 6-year-old kids that were murdered, and not the teachers that were murdered. This trans person, this woman who has been completely mangled and brainwashed and intertwined within this cult, is the real victim here, because society has rejected her.
Right. Society failed her. And basically, Jay, and I want to make sure I point this out. Oh, there we go. The Drew Barrymore, Dylan Mulvaney. God. Oh, no. What was I going to say? something Ramadan brain. Jay, do you know what I was gonna say? Your brain seems to be working better than mine.
Yeah, but I'm not a fucking mind reader.
Really? You literally
because you have Ramadan brain. You have a Ramadan brain right now that's going on.
It's
like
really
what you're
bad.
thinking about is like, what is Jen Rubin eating right now? What is she wearing? What is she about to tweet? Why haven't I gone and seen her tweets yet? Her tweets are probably fire right now. We should go see Jen Rubin's tweets.
I think we should see it. I'm gonna let Spencer do a quick preview before I I don't know what we're actually gonna run ourselves into. This from Maxwell Alejandro Frost, who is the Gen Z congressman from Florida, tweeting out, they want to force you to give birth to you so your kid can go get ripped apart by a gun at a school. So he tweeted this at 2:12 p.m. on March 27th. I don't know when it was revealed that the shooter was trans, but it's the kids being ripped apart by a gun at school. It's coming from your own house, buddy.
Right.
No, like, sure, maybe you can like highlight all the, school shootings that weren't like motivated by animus towards Christians because it was specifically left-wing violence. But this one is.
This one
fucking
is
insane. People are fucking deluded. I hate it. I hate everything.
No, they are. And you should see
like how CNN is reporting on this, how MSNBC is reporting on this. They're all reporting it in the lens of trying to make it out that this person is the real victim and guns are the only issue. Guns are the only issue, not this person, unless it was a straight white male with a manifesto. If it was
all white men. Cis white man, you're the problem.
It is Trump's problem. It is the Republicans' problem. It is all of the Republican voters' problem. It is all of these people's problems. But you bring this up in the manifesto and all this kind of, those same fuckers who say that come up and say, "Don't throw a blanket on people. Don't say this type of stuff. This is so fucking cruel. Go eat a dick and fuck yourselves." Like that is what they need to do. The media, yes, the media.
By the way, can we talk about how, Jay, I am offended as a man that some woman thinks.
Why are you misgendering yourself? We just saw what happens when you misgender. Why are you misgendering yourself? We need and schools around Sarasota be on alert.
We gotta watch out for the school in Sarasota.
We gotta watch out.
Siraj the tranny might be coming over just to ask for just a little
radicalized Islamic tranny on a rampage after misgendering herself.
And it's during Ramadan, no less. So he's
fucking sticking all those boxes.
She's extra feisty. I was gonna say on the real, I am offended that some woman decided that they were gonna cosplay as a man, be a man face, and try to outman a man by shooting up a school. That's not how you be a man.
No, it's not.
You be a man by like taking a woman out and then never calling her again, which
you've never done or even experienced.
Right. But also having your wife leave you. There's nothing more manly than that.
Absolutely. No, men are like the Nashville police, where we saw them run into the situation and neutralize it as soon as they did. That's real men. Real men are what help. I mean, you had just to segue onto, this is the end of Women History Month, and the vice president, she tweeted that women are the backbone of this country, which is absolute fucking horseshit in my mind.
Pull it up. Let's pull it up, Spencer. Roll it, baby.
Because men are the ones who went to war to fight for the freedom of this country. Men are the ones who went to World War I, who went through World War II. Men are the ones who do the job that completely keep this country functional, that women will not touch.
Habibi,
men are the ones who do this. And
It's
they
okay.
have allowed
Women get 1 month.
paved the way. Men have paved the way for women to get out of the kitchen, to be able to go vote, and for her to go and suck dick to get ahead. If it wasn't for a man's dick, she wouldn't be where she is.
It's true. It's that connection. Booyakasha. All right. Hit it, Spencer.
Women, they are the backbone of our democracy, and I stand on their shoulders.
She was on knees.
I don't think Kamala Harris has ever stood in her life. Let's see if they read them out. All right. Where's Sandra Day O'Connor, huh? Mazie Hirono. Get ready for when they do the things on Kamala. All right. First woman, first black woman, first Indian woman. 3, daughter of immigrants. I'm sorry, 4, transgender state senator.
While I may be the first woman in this office, I will not be the last.
Jay, how is it possible that she puts a man in the Women's History Month tribute? Patriarchy wins again, baby.
Always. I mean, we had that in USA Today. We had it in ESPN. They announced that for Women's History Month, they wanted to highlight the man who puts on lipstick and grew out his hair is dominating women's swimming.
Leah Thomas.
How right, he is dominating. Yep. And then in USA Today, they put it the Minnesota trans activist senator, and how he is now named Woman of the Year as well. It's really
remember
insane.
when the Caitlyn Jenner though was like legitimately nominated Woman of the Year?
Not nominated.
They
gave him the award.
Right. And it's just funny because like at that time, like everyone's like, oh, I'm so brave, so courageous. But that was the watershed moment in which like they literally were testing. That was a psyop right there. They were testing all of us to see how we would respond to that. And honestly, like people will laugh it off and think like, why would they give this person who's been a man their entire life Woman of the Year? They've been a woman for 1 year, maybe less than that, and they get Woman of the Year. How the fuck is that possible? You chop off your dick and grow a pair of tits and grow long hair, and all of a sudden you're a woman? Fuck out of here. Anyways, Riley Gaines, who is one of the NCAA swimmers who competed against Leah Thomas, basically said Leah Thomas is not she tweeted, Leah Thomas is not a brave, courageous woman who earned a national title. He is an arrogant, this is good. He is an arrogant cheat who stole a national title from a hardworking, deserving woman. The NCAA is responsible, 100%. If I was a woman working at ESPN, I would walk out. You're spineless, ESPN. And yes, kudos. 100% agree.
See, that's bravery right there, especially because we know how much shit. Oh yeah, how much shit she's gonna get for standing up for herself and for her fellow women athletes that had to go and stand through that humiliation in order for this man to get the spotlight. Can you imagine that? They had to sit through humiliation of losing, of not getting the spotlight, of not being able to compete fairly in order for the spotlight and all the celebrity to go to this man. Yeah. But we are supposed to say that this is all good for women. And that, people, the trans movement is not a misogynistic movement whatsoever. It's just silencing women's voices in order for men who wear makeup.
It's not misogynistic at all. All they're doing is just being like, you know what? Men can be women too. And also men are better women than women.
We win all the awards.
Yeah. So did you see what happened in New Zealand this past weekend?
No, what happened?
Okay, so there was a rally or there was basically a let's see, Posey Parker and Kelly J. Keene. They were speaking at an event, and I'm trying to look for the specific tweet here. It's Kelly J. Keene is on this Let Women Speak tour. It's intended to give women a chance to speak out about the effects of gender ideology. And of course, the trans rights activists have just called them TERFs and have just like basically bombarded and harassed and protested and assaulted these people. I don't know if there's accurate footage or if there's good enough footage. There was one thing I saw in which Kelly J. Keene was just
I remember
in the middle of here, let me find it. I don't know if but if you haven't been
they were violently silencing and tearing down this this rally. They were right. They were counter protesters,
right?
And they were like violently tearing, trying to stop them from speaking.
They're literally not letting women speak.
Right, and these are men in wigs fighting women from speaking. And we are supposed to and you have the left completely silence on this. And actually they encourage this stuff. They encourage this violence. They do.
Look,
they encourage the violence.
This is at the Let Women Speak event in Auckland. Look, that's the podium. See how that woman in the pink dress is pouring whatever the fuck blood or tomato juice on the speaker. That's because they don't have they don't have any good arguments to counter. So what did they do? They resort to harassment, violence, assault, you name it. That's right. That's not discourse.
No, it's not. Here we go. And it's fucking, and look, and it was an old lady. She's an old elderly woman getting beat. Look at this guy. Look at this. Look at him. And you can see, like, you look at his fucking body movement and all of this type of stuff. They are anxiety-ridden, mentally ill fuckers. They are anxiety-ridden, mentally ill pieces of shit that are not getting the help that they deserve, that they need. Not that they deserve it. Look at this piece of shit, what he did. That they're not getting the help that they need, the mental help that they need. They're instead getting affirmation that what they are doing is right, affirmation that their existence is just, affirmation that they are these special individuals, affirmation after affirmation, instead of being you stupid motherfucker and beating them with a belt until they grow the fuck up. We have babied these people way too much, and the left just keeps on feeding it and feeding it and feeding it. And these people cannot function normally in society. They went and beat a 73-year-old. A 73-year-old. I wouldn't give a fuck how racist, sexist, whatever, the bigoted, Islamophobic, whatever the fuck she was. I am not hitting a 73-year-old. I'm kicking her walker and walking away.
That's not the same either. It's not like the walker is an extension of their body, right?
Right. It's not. I tripped over a rock and hit it, and then I walked away. But
no, for real though, what's the deal with all that? You know, it's insane to me that. And look, I almost lost it today because I had an elderly person like cut me off on the road, and I was like, I'm in Florida. This dude was like a straight up asshole. I didn't get mad. I just beat, and then I let it go. Khalastum. I let it go.
That's good.
But I thought to myself, what if I really wanted to like get into it? How would that work out? How would that play out? Well, for one, I probably wouldn't be doing the show tonight because I'd probably be arrested.
Yes.
And rightfully so.
Absolutely.
But two, like, think of all the people who've like partaken in elderly abuse just like at these at nursing homes and shit, adult care facilities. Like, these are the people who are like the scum of the earth, the worst of the worst. Like, they are like just below pedophiles and people who abuse children. Well,
actually, like, I would even put them in the same level of people who abuse children, because they advocate for these gender affirmation cares happening to 8, 9, and 7-year-olds. They're in the same level as child abusers.
I guess that's true. Yeah. Speaking of which, speaking of child abuse, if you want to fight back against the child abuse, join our locals, Habibis. Hit that like and subscribe button, and then hit the join button, because $5 a month gets you to the non-pores chat, which we actually have going right now on our stream. It's not on Rumble, it's on locals. And basically you get top priority. You also get to join the Habibi Bros Discord server, where we're doing tons of fun things like fantasy football. We're doing the March Madness bracket pool right now. And we also get to harass Carl, who's one of our admins, specifically because he can't beat Jay at anything. And Carl's a massive sports fan, and Jay just doesn't give a shit. So it's actually been probably one of the more entertaining things to happen.
It's been I am still undefeated against this guy, and it is absolutely fucking amazing. And also, if you join our Discord, you can actually be invited on and hop on to our gaming sessions as well.
That's true. I had Elder Bartleby, aka Flapper, who you should all follow on Rumble. FLAPPR, does these great documentaries. They're actually really, really well done. They're really well produced, good. But they're also funny. Like, just the commentary and the narration, astounding. Go ahead, give him a follow. He joined me on my Elden Ring stream the other night. He's a big Elden Ring guy. And we just shot the shit for like 2 hours. It's a fun little hangout sesh. We plan on opening it up a little bit more as we get more gaming involved. Real quick, just a couple of stories we want to hit on before we go for the evening. One, we got Greg Price, who I actually didn't see this until I think you sent it to the group chat earlier today, Jay. But this new plan to ban TikTok seems to have gone completely off the rails. And I'm talking like, we're looking at Patriot Act 2.0 over here. Now, look. Let's just read a little bit of what's happening, okay? So, addressing information and communication technology products and services that pose undue or unacceptable risk. If you look at the bottom part in red, it says, the secretary is going to impose and enforce any mitigation measure to address any risk arising from any covered transaction by any person or with respect to any property subject to the jurisdiction of the United States that the secretary determines. Wait, what the fuck? What? Yeah. I can't even follow this. What is this?
This is basically, honestly, giving them unilateral power, and it's being compared to the Patriot Act of the internet, and it is absolutely terrifying, to say the least. I mean,
so what they're saying is that in addition to being flagged as a white supremacist terrorist, you'll also be labeled an a radical Islamic terrorist by watching Habibi Bros and Habibi Power Hour on Rumble and subbing to our locals, which actually, Jay, it's actually kind of interesting because in the description I write that you could end up on a no-fly list by supporting us on locals, and it looks like that might actually be the case.
Yeah.
So with that being said, $5 a month to join our locals if you want to
come on in.
No-fly list.
Yes, come on in, Habibis. And it honestly is going to it would put all the efforts of like what Rumble is trying to do mute. It would put all the efforts that anyone who's trying to advocate for free speech to mute, because they could just do any sort of minute fucking whatever the fuck and put the site on the list and get it banned, or cut off or any kind of app. It gives them way too much power. Like, I'm all for banning Chinese government or Chinese affiliated companies.
Spyware.
I'm all for it. No, not just spyware. Companies in general. Any and all of them. I am in like, I go to the extreme when it comes to China. I'm even in favor for sanctioning companies like Apple that do extreme business to China and who suck the CCP dick to make sure that they look good. Same thing with Tesla
Like
and Elon Musk. Same thing with the Google, and then any of the companies that buy hardware from them. I go to the extreme on it. I want to kick any Chinese citizen that is here in the United States who does not denounce the CCP citizenship and become American. I want them kicked out of the United States. Like, actually, I am to that extreme.
That's actually not like, usually it's funny because I usually try to like rope you in here. This is one of the things that I probably would agree with you a little bit more on, specifically on your policy on, hey, any like Chinese citizen who is here in the United States, you have to like make a public declaration that you renounce the Chinese Communist Party. And basically it's almost like you have to not force all of them, but like if they want to enter this country, they have to do it under the principle of or under the policy of seeking political asylum or seeking asylum.
Oh, do you know we would have a huge upfoot on China, because I mean, if you look at Lex, I think his name is Lex Freeman or whatever.
Lex Freeman, yeah.
Lex Freeman. He did a great podcast with a CIA agent who was talking about the different ways different information agencies in different governments are able to control and receive information. He says one of the most extreme ones and scary ones are the Chinese, because every Chinese citizen is so ingrained within their loyalty to the CCP, is that if the CCP government comes to any of their citizens and tells them to do something, to gain intel, to sabotage, to espionage, to whatever, they will do it. Yeah. And we have countless ones within our universities taking courses and also being able to be in grant laboratories, be in experimental development, all of that kind of stuff. And if they are, and there's no way knowing whether or not they're taking that information and giving it back to the CCP as well.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. What we've seen from the CCP is like they've basically been waging war in the United States and in almost every single facet of our life, through trade and the economy. And the fact that they released and I don't know why I didn't lead off of this, but the fact that they released a biological weapon on the rest of the world through COVID, even if you don't believe that COVID is, say, any worse than the common cold or the flu, which at this point it's not, considering that our immune systems all got better, especially the ones who didn't get the vaccine. But if you look at how the Chinese Communist Party went about it, they specifically, and at this point, I'm willing to say they did it intentionally, because I can't trust anything that comes out of the Chinese Communist Party. So if they say they didn't do it intentionally, they did it intentionally. It's just as simple as that. And the fact they released this virus on the rest of the world, and they basically paid off all these American politicians, specifically Tony Fauci, who basically worked in tandem with the Wuhan Institute of Virology on coronavirus or back coronavirus research and funding the Wuhan Institute of Virology. They already had a grip on the United States government. It was a wrap before it even began. And the fact that we have so many corrupt and spineless politicians and people who are, like, you have to rely on just normal people like Jay and Spencer and me, who's retarded, to speak up about any of these issues. It shouldn't have to fall on us. Like but
it does.
we elect leaders for a reason. We elect leaders. We elect people to represent us, to fight for us, and all they do is just get fucking bought off by China. The fact that you have, and look, I want TikTok banned just as bad as you do, Jay, or as bad as the next person. This is not the way to do it.
No, absolutely not.
Passing this bill is a fucking disaster. It's a disaster. And the fact that we had Jamal Bowman, congressman from New York, part of the squad, AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, all of these squad members basically simping for the Chinese Communist Party, saying that, don't ban TikTok because it's a violation of the First Amendment. First of all, you're all dumb as shit. It's obviously not. If it was, everybody who took part in shutting down Vine should be in prison right now, which is basically.
Well, not only that, if that's what they're saying is a violation of the First Amendment, anyone getting banned on Twitter is a violation on the First Amendment. Anyone getting banned off of TikTok is a violation of the First Amendment.
Since you're on your 14th Twitter account,
I've been violated 14 times.
Yeah, your First Amendment's been violated 13 times already.
Oh, yeah, and the First Amendment, yes. I've been violated 14 times, and the First Amendment, yes.
Let's see. All right, so like the establishment, they clearly don't give a shit about us. I think I got this one last thing here, and this is a reporter from Yahoo News talking to John Kerry specifically about Davos and flying private.
Private aviation is an example of something where people are starting to pay more attention. And but when people who go to Davos to talk about climate change fly private, it seems like they don't want to make.
Well, I've talked to them about it. They offset. They buy offsets. They offset, and they are working harder than most people I know to be able to try to affect this transition.
Right.
Offset. That all that means is I can do it and you can't. Fuck
That's
you.
Exactly what it means. And offset how? If you put the carbon footprint up there, how are you offsetting? Are they going up and breathing it in? Are they building?
Are
you
plants, like
throwing
is
plants
this like
up in the air? What are they doing to do it? And not only that, these people are one of the worst ones when it comes to this, because they say nothing about the way Russia drills or produces oil. They say nothing about China. They say nothing about India or anything. These fucks like John Kerry, they go and they say, we need to take away your AC. We need to get rid of your refrigerator.
Gas stove.
We need to get rid of your gas stoves, while they fly around private and in an environment of 69 degrees.
Nice.
Always, constantly. But you, a mother or father of 3 kids, have to sacrifice your car, have to sacrifice your stove, have to sacrifice your AC for global warming. Not them.
Just you. It sucks that we have so much social media in our life, but it's also, in that way it's kind of a curse, but it is a blessing, because we would not be able to be, these fucks would never be exposed if it weren't for things like Twitter or Instagram or TikTok. We're just talking about how we want TikTok banned and then praising it in the next sentence. No, look, for real. Jay needs to go. He needs to fucking go. We're wrapping up here, Jay. If you need to go, you can go. I know you need to. Let me just get this 1 point off and then you can go. You fucking piece of shit. I swear to God. Just kill him. No, what I was going to say, though, was
your
that
vibe of iftar brain farts.
Yeah, I know. I'm finally getting like some of my brain cells back here after breaking my fast for Ramadan. But no, what I wanted to highlight here, Jay, was the fact that we have so many people in our society, people running the show. It's not just John Kerry, it's Joe Biden. It's pretty much everybody currently running the show, simply saying they can do it and you can't. And if you try to do it, you are, I'm not saying that you're canceled, but you're basically facilitating the death of Earth.
That's what they're
And
saying.
while Jay tries to get his man thong ready for tonight's dinner, which hopefully the first course is ass, we're gonna get to our favorite segment, and that is Ask Us Anything. So Habibi's ass away. This is from Cianon Shaman, who tweets at 50 motherfucking cent. With this meme, her, I bet he's thinking about other women. Him, why was Jen Rubin so unprepared on the O'Reilly? To this day, I need to know.
To this day.
To this day. To this day. I did retweet that. Okay, good. Beautiful. We got, what else we got? Shoe on head with this classic side by side with the New York Times tweeting, why did the U.S. invade Iraq 20 years ago? 2 decades after the Bush administration said it wanted to disarm weapons of mass destruction and free Iraqis, the debates rage on about who knew what, when, and which motive mattered most. Next slide, Spencer. The New York Times. How to choke Iraq. Bombing Iraq isn't enough. American bombs make Iraq stronger. Bomb North Korea before it's too late. Bomb Syria even if it's illegal. To stop Iran, bomb Iran. And this classic that we're all trying to find the guy who did this.
Oh my God. It's classic. Just too
nice
good.
Little bow on it. Man, do we have anything else, Spencer? You want to just hop in here and say hello? You can hop in and say hello. Except he's muted again.
Again. I don't know.
I can't unmute it.
Like he does it all the fucking time.
He's muted still.
I know. I don't understand what he's doing and why this happens.
Why are you muted? Why?
You're the one muting me, but no, we were talking about in the locals chat about how GW is changing our moniker to who knows what, but it was the Colonials and now it's not. So if you want to debate, join the locals.
So that's a funny thing about George Washington. We didn't talk about it because it's just so low on our list, and also fuck you, Spencer. But specifically, George Washington owned slaves. How are they changing the name Colonials but not George Washington?
It's gonna happen.
The Washington Post wrote an article that was like, we have to change everything that was Washington related.
Yeah,
yeah.
Washington Post. God,
Roy Metzger in the locals chat says GW jihadists, and I agree with that. I full on support that idea.
One thing we also have, jihadists. That's based
and,
right there.
And the truth of it all, they were the original jihadists.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's
George
true.
Washington was a jihadist.
He was a jihadist, and he also owned the Quran. Did you know this?
Well, yeah, I think a lot of Masons, the people from the Masons own it. He was a Mason too.
Yeah, he was a Muslim Mason.
Yeah, that's why he's wearing. You can see it in one of the museums. He's actually wearing a white cloth, like you do when you go to perform Mecca.
Yeah, go for Hajj.
When you go for Hajj, they wear a white cloth.
Yeah,
around, and he has one.
George Washington, 100% Muslim,
of him doing it. So it all. Muslim. I mean, you connect the dots.
You can. Yeah, this is.
They go all around.
For anybody who wants to know more, join our.
He
WhatsApp
was controlled
group.
by the Jews.
Join our WhatsApp group. So, one last thing about George Washington University, and I had this tweet. So it's in the DC neighborhood of Foggy Bottom. Okay. And
great tweet.
Why couldn't we name it like Foggy Bottom University and, give it some nickname like the Packers, which, it's used for like Green Bay Packers. So you have the Foggy Bottom Packers. Who doesn't love that?
That sounds that would be
10 out of 10 name.
That is
honestly, they put ambassadors as a Final Four list. So honestly, anything can be better than that. And the Foggy Bottom Packers is a top 10 name.
I love it.
That's great.
All right, Habibis. Well, Spencer, thanks so much for getting everything together. Great job as always. You're fucking fired. Get out of here. Jay,
later, sir.
Have fun at dinner. Make sure that ass is seasoned before you actually plunge your face into it.
Oh man,
always.
Yeah.
Season and
Nothing
cream.
worse than an unseasoned ass.
Season and cream.
Season cream. That's you got to make sure you separate your savory and sweet ass.
I know. I love them both together.
Oh.
Have you ever had a chocolate chip?
I see you're a man of culture as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Habibis, before we go, hit that like and subscribe button. $5 for our locals. Oh, Ben Morrissey, our listener, says Kamala has never stood in her life. She is just like me for real. Oh wait.
Oh, damn. Oh my God. People who don't know our Listern, Ben Morrissey is in a wheelchair.
I wonder how he rolls out of bed. Okay, real quick. So hit that like and subscribe button. $5 for our locals. Hit the join button. We got a 2-month promotion for a 2-month free trial. You can join our Habibi Discord server and be a part of the fantasy football group that we got going on, our March Madness group. And you also get to join us in our gaming streams and come shoot the shit. Maybe even play with us. And then last thing, Jay, is I completely fucking forgot what I was gonna say.
For Habibi Power Hours.
No. There's one more thing.
Oh, sorry.
There's one more thing. Let's see. No, I lost it.
All right, for Habibi Power Hours. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Habibi_Bros. And Jay, you're at Ass Lickin'. I am at Siraj Hashmi. Roy Mesker mentioning the postcards. Time to end the stream right now. He's mentioning the postcards. Time to get out of here. It's getting out of here. So for the Habibi Bros, I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Jay Kobbe.
And we're the Habibi Bros. We'll see you next time on Habibi Power. Oh, yes. Thursday night list stream. 10 p.m. East, 7 p.m. Pacific. Crazy list this week because of all the terrible takes you saw tonight. But there's so many more. That's what I want to say. Okay, peace out.